Hey guys, Windchurcher here, back again with another Minecraft video, and today guys I want to be going ahead and talking about Redstone. So I want to be talking about with you guys on how you guys can actually evolve your builds and making them more complicated, or even with different functions. Maybe you want to build something with multifunction, or maybe different ways of accessing the same system, for example a two-way door so you can open it from both sides, or taking a design like, for example, a regular double piston door and just going ahead and adding a whole bunch of complicated redstone and making this thing a whole lot more messy. I mean, absolutely useless, but it's a good skill to have. Making your builds more complex, it's always a good skill to have. So I want to go over a few redstone things with you guys. I'm going to do it in this little section here. I want to go ahead and just show you guys what different redstone types of materials you can use and what they actually do. So some people may not know the difference between a sticky piston and a piston. I'm going to grab myself a couple of levers, and I'm also going to get myself some lime wool. So what you want to do is just go ahead in your world and test out different things to see what they can do. So obviously we've got two pistons hooked up right here. This one here is a regular piston, and this one here is the sticky piston. As you can see, the sticky piston retracts and the regular piston only pushes the block outwards. Now, yeah, of course you can actually create a system as to where this piston would end up returning it, and you could have a different system. Obviously if you had a sticky piston here, it wouldn't do the same thing. It would well, it would just grab the block from this block and it would take it. So they work slightly differently in terms of the fact that one moves it and the other retracts it. You can do it in both sides, so you can do it up and down as well. You can actually push this up, and if you have it like this, it will just stay up there. And obviously if you have a sticky piston, it will bring it back down again. It's quite nice to know what they can do in terms of your building, because you may want to use a piston over a sticky piston in some builds. Maybe you're making a massive door and it's so big you can't use regular blocks, so you have to use sand blocks, and obviously sand blocks are affected by gravity or gravel, things like that, and the blocks will end up taking the gravity and would fall down if your piston's retracted. So sometimes a sticky piston isn't the best option depending on what building you're doing. Also, obviously, it's one of the more main things. We don't really have to go over TNT. Pretty much everyone knows how to use that. We've got our dispensers, which, I mean, they just dispense items. They throw TNT out in full blocks and arrows and fire charges, things like that. You can make some really cool weapons. They can put armor on you. They can give you items, other things like that. Very, very basic stuff. Nothing really to go over and show off there. It's all very, very simple and just very, very easy to understand. Now we've also got some other things here we can go over, like pressure plates. What is the difference between a regular pressure plate and, let's say, for example, a lighted pressure plate, or a weighted pressure plate? There's a heavy weighted pressure plate, and yeah, there's also a light pressure plate, but they pretty much do the same thing. What is the difference? So you have these two pressure plates. If you stand on this one, of course I believe it goes off because of your player. Obviously it's quite heavy, so if you go on this, it only sends off a 1 tick, and this one sends the entire signal. I believe with this one it's more for mobs. I guess you could put it into a redstone lamp, and this lamp would go off. So if you went on this, it would show the lamp. If you went on this, it would not show the lamp, because it needs more items on it. It needs to be weighted a lot more. I believe with the light, you could also, I think you could just use the wooden ones for items. I'm not too sure. I think you could just use pretty much anything. Yeah, you can get a signal just for dropping items off, which I guess could be quite useful. It also goes off if you stand on it, but I believe that's the same with I don't think it's the same with stone ones. No, it's not. See, these ones are player and these ones are player and item. So the only difference between them is that this one is for, like, I guess, counting mobs. The torch will go off, let's say, when you reach max mob limit, and this one is for items and players, and the signal is a lot, I believe it's a lot shorter than this one. Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much all you can get from there. We've also got something called a daylight sensor. Now, I'm not sure if any of you guys really know what a daylight sensor is. I'm pretty sure a lot of you must have used it in your time, but if you have a daylight sensor on, it will power it will send out power. So it will send out power if it is daytime. If you invert it, it will be a nighttime sensor. So daylight sensor and nighttime sensor. And this will trigger when it is nighttime. So if I set it to night, we will get redstone signal, which again is quite nice. If we set it to daytime, we will only have a signal at day. I guess it could go in some builds, maybe if you want, like, let's say a door that only opens at night. You know, it's a bit of a weird one. I'm just going to place that there and place this on top. But yeah, it is quite cool. I mean, some builds could really use this, maybe. We've also got something called a redstone repeater. And now how these work is if you're using, let's say, let's just go ahead and whack down a lever right here with redstone. And let's just go ahead and build out 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. See, as you can see, that is the last block the redstone goes off, and on this one, it dies. So to extend that signal, you place down a redstone repeater, and the signal continues even further. Little nice tip to have, actually. I highly recommend you using redstone repeaters in builds if you're required a lot of wiring going in one direction. It really does work out for you. We also got buttons and levers, and you know, we've got wooden buttons as well. The only difference is, if I show you real quick, if I get my blocks back, if I show you real quick, if we place down our oak button and our stone button, the signal strength for each of them is different. So this one is a lot longer, and this one's a lot shorter. It's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. See, it's got 1 second extra, which can be quite useful in your circuits. I mean, if you need a longer pulse, then yeah, I'm pretty sure that's alright. There are some complicated things you can do with buttons in terms of turning them into levers, but obviously if you always want a fully stable connection that's always on or off, just use a lever. Simple as that. The next thing I want to go over trap chests. What's the difference between this and a regular chest? Well, when you open this, I believe you need I'm not sure, I've never really used trap chests that much. Yeah, it sends out a redstone signal whilst you're in it. So yeah, if you are using a trap chest, it does send out a redstone signal. I highly recommend, if you guys are going for a build with a trap chest, I think you can just go ahead and place torches behind it. No. You're gonna have to place it directly above where the trap chest is. So we could have a signal coming out right here, and you could bring out a signal. Very useful, I guess, if you want to make a trap or something like that. Then we've got tripwire hooks, which are again another interesting item that I don't see many people using. You can actually hide these away in your world. So if you put, let's say you had a really wide room, you could actually hook up your damn it, I made it too short. You need to have at least 1 block space in the middle, I believe. Yeah, I'm making it too short. There we go. So if a player walks over this piece of string, it will activate the redstone. So it will activate the tripwires, which will activate the redstone. Something you guys should know. You can actually link this up to TNT, all sorts of items, and murder anyone who's trying to steal your stuff. There's many different ways you could go about doing this. It's actually a really good tool. And then we have these newer blocks. I'm not sure when they were added, I haven't played this game in a while, but these are called observer blocks. Now what you could do with an observer block, I could show you a pretty snazzy example, if it will let me get down. If I place a block here, place a couple of blocks here, just put some redstone dust coming out of it. If I break this block, it will send off a signal. Also, if you update the block, it will send off a signal. So you can't do anything to the block with items, but if you have a piece of, if you have dirt block with a diamond hoe or any type of hoe, if you actually place this on here and hoe the block, it should send out an update. So there you go. It updates the redstone dust down there. So if I activate it, updates the redstone dust, and with this you can create a system from where you could have a secret base or a farm or something where you have to hoe this and it will activate your system. And I mean, it's very cool, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys may need to use this in your builds. You can link this up to a block that will untilt your soil. I mean, it's honestly it's personal choice. Again, easiest way I can think about doing that is retracting the block and putting it back again. But I mean, yeah, it's pretty cool. Right, now let's get into some more complicated things. Let's go into some systems. Right, so I've done some videos on these systems in the past. Let me just clear my inventory. I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a T flip-flop monostable circuit. Basically, a T flip-flop system is where a button becomes a lever, so it ends up giving off an either always on current or let's say an always off current. So it's the redstone's always either on or the redstone's always either off. Like, what you can do also is the monostable circuit is basically a circuit that just gives off a pulse that isn't an actual fully strong current unless you modify it and you make it a full strong current. So it is a monostable T flip-flop because of that. Don't ask me, ask the developers of Minecraft or the community of why they decided to call it that. I just roll with it. So coming out of here, you want to place a redstone repeater going into a sticky piston with a block on top, followed by a piece of redstone dust going into another sticky piston with, let's say, a block of redstone on the outside, and we could just place redstone dust right here. So what will happen is, if I hit this button, it will push the block forward, and it will always be leaving the redstone signal on, and we can go ahead and just leave that off. Now this would be a monostable circuit if we didn't have this right here. If we didn't have this right here, it would only send off a pulse. But yeah, it just doesn't work. It really just doesn't work, and the monostable would end up just pushing this, and it would just, yeah. It's a very, very, very fast update. But if you have the block of redstone, the block of redstone works like a redstone torch, but it can be moved. It's always positive. It can come out in any direction you like. You can place it on top, place it around the sides. It's always positive. Compare this to a normal block, where a normal block will either be on or off. It will never actually be, well, it will never be on unless you're powering the block with a, let's say, another redstone current. So that right there, it will power the block and power everything on it. So that's another thing you guys should know. But yeah, this here is a very, very basic monostable circuit T flip-flop system. I keep calling it that. I should just keep calling it a T flip-flop. It's much easier to understand. Button lever, there we go. Very, very, very easy button lever. Now, the only issue with this is you can't build it this direction because it will break. If I show you guys real quick, I mean, I'm not sure about how many of you actually care, but if I show you this system going this way, it will not actually work. It will break, and yeah, I've had so many problems with building it in this direction just due to the fact it doesn't work. See, it doesn't update the piston. It's a weird bug with Minecraft. I don't know what it is. It updates this direction, it just will never update in the other direction. It's very, very weird how this works. There's a problem with redstone in this world. Some builds you make, you have to have them in certain directions because of the redstone, but you know, it's alright. Let's go ahead and talk about some other systems you could go about doing. There's things in this game that you can do to get multiple signals at once, and you may be wondering, like, oh, Winchurch, what do you mean by that? Well, there is a system you can make. I believe it's like it's like this. It's let's place that on there. It's basically a system where you can switch the current on either side. So if I flick this, the current will switch to the left side, and if I flick this, the current will switch to the right side. So you can have two buttons operating different signals that's all connected up to one component. It's really quite interesting, really. I mean, you could, all you have to do really is just wire this all up. So let's say I just wired all that up, place my button out here, and then I could just wire all this up out here and place my button on there. And you could have a redstone lamp on the top to just show that it's on or off. So if I place a redstone lamp on, here, yeah, it's not going to update because of this block. I'll place a redstone lamp on the bottom of it and that should work. So if I place, see, look, the signal that's on currently is the one with the redstone lamp. If I hit this one doesn't on, the one that's on, and the other one turns off. And now with this you could have different signals, you could do different things with this. I'm not sure, be creative obviously. There's so many different things you could actually do with this. It's really quite cool. I believe this is called an R-snore latch. It's basically just a system where you are converting well, you are sending in two signals. That is, well, you're sending in one signal that updates the other signal, turning it off. So it's inverting one signal when the other one turns on. It's I don't know. I'm not going to explain it. It's just, yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, it can be used and can be useful in some situations. Again, it is quite there. Anyway, let me go over some basic redstone builds for you guys. So let's go ahead and talk about how to build a very, very basic redstone door, and then we'll tell you guys how to make it a little bit more complicated, a little nicer, and a little bit more player friendly. Alright, let's get right into it. So go ahead and just get the white blocks is the blocks you're going to see. Alright, I always use wool. Alright, you need to notice I always use wool or yeah, concrete, things like that. You guys want to maybe go ahead and just choose whatever you want. It's really up to you. And with these blocks right here, I believe this is all we're going to need for the first system. So I build it here. Basically, what you want to do is just place down two sticky pistons right here, the blocks that you want in front. All right, you want to build out. Well, you want to come out 4 spaces, and you want to place 2 more sticky pistons facing inwards with 2 blocks on it, like this. Now, your wiring block, which it can be your block of choice, again, this is just my personal preference. You just want to go ahead and place 2 repeaters on the top facing outwards with redstone dust on all of these and a lever right here. Now, that is a very, very simple redstone door, and it works quite nicely. Also, it's not very clean. Well, it's not very safe in terms of if you destroy the lever, it's always going to be open. So you may be wondering, all right, how do I make this so the door's always closed? How do I make it so I don't have to keep whacking the lever? I'll show you now, guys. So I'll show you a very, very basic way of how you guys can actually go ahead and turn that door into something a little bit more complicated. So let's go ahead and replace our sticky pistons. Obviously come out 4 spaces. So I'm actually going to do this with white so you guys can see. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now on the 4th one right here, you want to place down your sticky pistons with 2 blocks on top on there and 2. Oh, sorry, I forgot you have to come out 4 from there. So you have to just place 1 block more there and place your 2 blocks on just like that. All right, guys. Now you don't really have to work on the top on this one, so we can leave the top empty. It doesn't really matter. Now what we're going to do is change these to your blocks of choice. Well, before you do that, just break out these 6 blocks right here and break out another 6 blocks down here. Alright, now the next thing you want to do is you want to break out 2 blocks under here like this, and you want to fill the entire middle with redstone dust. So just fill all of this up with redstone dust, fill that with redstone dust, break that block there and place a redstone repeater going into each side. Now what's going to happen is if you break this block right here, we're going to have the repeater coming out the back, and this is a good thing. So what you want to do is just place a block here. I'm going to use my wiring block, place a redstone torch on top with another block on top with a piece of redstone dust. Now what that will do is that will actually go ahead and just, I'll explain it on this side. So what's happening is this is not touching the system right now. This has nothing to do with why it's turning on. If you're placing a redstone torch right here, what happens if you place a block above the redstone torch is the block gets powered. So as I was saying before, you can power blocks. So if I show you real quick, you can actually power a block with redstone. So if I send a current into this block, it would receive power. So I could place redstone dust on this side. There's nothing touching it apart from the block. I could place redstone dust here. I could place redstone dust here. Nothing is touching the block and it is receiving, well, I mean, nothing's touching the redstone and it's receiving power except from the block. That's all you really have to understand there, guys. And then, yeah, just, if you place redstone dust on top of it, it activates the piston, because obviously in Minecraft, if you go ahead and place, it won't work if you place it above, but let's say you put a piston here, it would activate to go through the block. So if I place a piston right here, it would activate. This wouldn't activate, but if I place redstone dust on it, it would activate because the redstone dust is side compared to the block, and then you would have your complete opening right there. So let's just go ahead and seal this up. Obviously you guys may want to see how to seal this up without breaking your build. So you want to go ahead and cover these blocks back up right here and place down 2 pressure plates, and then do the same on the other side. So cover that and place 2 pressure plates. Now if you stand on it, the door will open, and just replace these blocks right here. So there we have a double, just a double automatic door, and it's a very, very easy cover up. You just build around the outside in a nice little like U shape, if you will, and then what you want to do is just build up to the top section like this, just like that, and then just build over the top of it. It's as simple as that, really. And then we can just cover this entire thing up, and there we have a very nice door. That could be the entrance to a shop. It could be whatever you want. You could change these for glass, you know, you can make it a nice automatic door for a shop. If you're a little bit more advanced, you can expand it, make the door bigger, you know, taller. That's probably the easier way to go about it. But yeah, there's literally so many things you could do with that. Let's go ahead and talk about how we make this even more complicated. So maybe you don't want the automatic double door. Maybe you'd like to have a triple piston extender door. So a triple piston door. I have 3 working simultaneously. If you would like to know how to build this, please check out my previous video. I have got a redstone tutorial on it. It's very, very basic to build, and you guys can build it in less than half an hour. So, very, very easy to make. But yeah, let's go ahead and build one more door for you guys. This one's going to be straight from the book. It's going to be a new design. I'm going to come up with it myself. I'm going to build a complete new door with my own little twists and tricks going into the door, and hopefully it comes out really nicely. So what I want, obviously, you want your regular 2 spacing right here. I'm going to build out 1, 2, 3, 4 on each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got a nice space of 1, 2, space of 10 right here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and place down 2 sticky pistons facing into each other like this, with a block on each of them. Now what should happen, this piston will push forward, this piston will push forward, and the block should reach around here. Now I'm going to just test this theory real quick. I'm not gonna like brag about it until that actually happens. So I'm just going to place this one on 1 tick and this one on 4 ticks, and then if I go ahead and activate it, yeah, see, perfect, it goes straight into the middle and it retracts nicely. Whew, that's all spicy. That's really nice, and also you have a massive spacing on the inside as well, which again is quite nice, I guess. I mean, I'm not too sure. The redstone is kind of in the way, but you know, for a double piston extender that short, that's quite nice. All right, so obviously, well, we're gonna make it so this is the front side now. So this will be the front. We're working from the back. I just can't bother to switch everything around. The amount of times I've done that is ridiculous, but yeah. So you want to place 2 repeaters, a piece of redstone dust. You want to link all of these up. This one here, hit it once. This one here, hit it 3 times. And this one here, you can't do anything because it's a piece of redstone dust. Place a lever, see if it works. We have a double piston extender. So let's go ahead and stack this twice. So I want to go ahead and have 2 double piston extenders on the side. So it will not activate unless we convert the signal and take it to the top. Or what we could do is raise this entire system up once, and it should work. So if I place down the same signal again with 1 and 4, it should work on both. There we go. See, we now have a double door, double sticky piston extender. So we've got a double piston extender right there. And yeah, let's go ahead and break these blocks. You want to place down your 2 repeaters, your block right here, 1, 4, and piece, and that there, and that will always be on. So that's really cool. We've now got a nice little double piston extending door right here. Okay, next thing we want to do is it's up, couldn't we? We could actually connect this up, and yeah, we could hide all of this away with blocks and everything. You know, you could hide it up like this, and then this right here could come out when it opens. You know, it could just lead into a big room, because obviously the blocks go out diagonally. That looks quite nice. Yeah, that's quite a nice idea actually. It just comes straight out into a diagonal. Usually most doors force you to go through a certain tunnel. Obviously we have a very, very short tunnel right here, but that's quite nice because obviously it's a double piston extending door. Yeah, that's quite a good idea. But yeah, let's go ahead and link all of this up right now. So we're gonna go ahead and do our usual and place down our two what do you want to call it? Pressure plates there and there, or yeah, no, we'll do pressure plates. Pressure plates is a lot easier for you guys to understand. Let's go ahead and just build down 2 and build out 6 right here. Put redstone dust all along the sides of these. There is another way you can go about doing this, but honestly for this it's unnecessary. We'll go ahead and place two cyan wool blocks out, redstone dust on one each side, place a repeater on the other, and then what you want to do is bring this block up like this. You don't want to power this block, you want to bring it out to the side. So what you want to do is just place redstone dust along these ones right here, and then if you go ahead and place a block up like this and place a redstone torch on it, then when you place a block on top we can actually bring the signal over. Perfect. So if I stand on it, it retracts. Oh blimey. We've run into a bit of a problem here. The the signal is too quick for us. Yeah, there's nothing to worry about there. Honestly, it's fine. We'll just go ahead and wire it up this way. Like that. That should work now, right? Why am I running into this issue? I'm running into a slight bug here now, guys. You know, I have no clue. Maybe it's because this is powering this and the piston's above it, so that should not be doing that. Yeah, it's got something to do with this block down here. I'm just going to move the repeater for the time being back. Oh, we need to connect it with the redstone dust. Yeah, there's definitely an issue with some of the redstone. You know, we'll just change up the system. I'm not overcomplicating this for you guys. There's no way in hell I'm doing that. That would be more on some of my more complicated redstone builds. I'll complicate it for you guys. So I'm just gonna hook this all up to a lever, which should make you guys quite happy actually, just making life a little bit easier for you. So let's go ahead and build up, and then we'll build up again. Well, no, we on the front of the door like this. Yeah, that's fine. You know, that's perfectly fine. And then we'll just hook this one up with redstone going along the top. Then we'll turn off the signal, it all retracts. Yeah, that's a lot more simple. I'm a little bit more happy with that one right there. But yeah, I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed this redstone video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe if you're new around here, it's always appreciated. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.